We are doing the Philippines, history, geography, economy, and culture from, I get this name wrong all the time,
Geodiode.
Geodiode, yes. Philippines, y'all have come out for us, whether it be, the Casual Chuck videos, the SB19 stuff, the Jollibee stuff, so...
The Geography Now stuff, like, name it, you know? It's good that we visit this time and time again, because that's how I feel like we both learn is repetition. And the more stuff we get to that's stating this stuff, we can start seeing either differences or a lot of similarities, and that's what we gravitate to as far as absorbing that. So.
Exactly. And as someone that is building a budding travel channel and is just in a place where you could travel a lot, I'm trying to get ideas of where to travel to the Philippines in 2025. Maybe do some vlogs on here about that. So
yes,
don't be shy about telling me where I should go, how I should conduct myself. So
yep.
Anyway, we haven't even watched the video yet, so
yeah, true. Let's dive into it.
Like it anywhere in the world. From Manila to Mindanao, Coron to Boracay, a land of rice paddies and rainforest, barangays and jeepneys. This could only be the Philippines.
Man, that's one thing I forgot was those jeepneys. Those are really cool. That's something I want to ride.
That's
one of them.
Just historic, man. I gotta. When you do end up going over to the Philippines, man, you gotta take a picture with one. You gotta do a video in one.
Hell yeah.
That is so unique.
Yeah, I want to do one so badly. If you own one, please comment below.
Oh my God, please. Yes.
Yeah.
The Philippines is a highly populated and extensive archipelago on the eastern edge of Southeast Asia. The country was named after King Philip II of Spain when it was conquered by the Spanish in the 16th century. For the longest time, it was officially called the Philippine Islands, or Las Islas Filipinas, but the islands part was dropped in 1935, leaving just the Philippines. The name of the country in the official Filipino language is Pilipinas. The archipelago has been home to a succession of people for tens of thousands of years. The Austronesian peoples that make up the vast majority of the population today are believed to have colonized the islands as early as 2200 BC, and in the succeeding centuries the islands were divided into many chiefdoms, kingdoms, city-states and sultanates which regularly fought one another. This was the state of affairs the Spanish found when Ferdinand Magellan, the explorer that led the first expedition to circumnavigate the globe, arrived here in 1521. He claimed the islands for Spain, but was shortly after killed by natives at the Battle of Mactan, near the current city of Cebu.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I didn't know Magellan died in the Philippines.
We do now. The native Philippine folk on there did him, let them know what was up.
I used to love that GPS. I always like the I think, was it Magellan or something like that?
Yeah.
It was Magellan. It was definitely pre post MapQuest. It was around the same time.
Yeah,
they had their time.
Definitely before TomTom or
Garmin.
Garmin's
still around, I think, but Magellan had his time in the sun.
Yeah. Now we have Waze and Google Maps and Apple Maps for those who don't like things at work.
Or Apple Maps for those of you that love to get lost.
Yeah.
Those adventurers out there use Google Map or Apple Maps for sure.
Yeah, that's probably what Magellan used when he got to the Philippines.
He used Apple Maps. Jesus Christ! All right, yeah. Like, the fuck am I? It said turn left. There's no left. I'm in the goddamn ocean.
Any execs from Google Maps or Waze, we just wrote you a commercial there.
Yeah. You're welcome. Goodness gracious.
You can't take us anywhere.
No.
Colonization efforts began in earnest in the latter part of that century, subjugating the various local polities using their tactics of divide and conquer that they had used so successfully against the Aztecs and Incas of the New World. The Spanish based their capital in Manila, and this city was where the Manila galleons were built that sent silks from China, spices from Indonesia, and cotton textiles from the islands themselves across the Pacific to Mexico and then on to Spain, the first consistent trade route across the Pacific.
Oh.
The Catholic Church was very active in its conversion of the local populace during this time, with the result that today the majority of the population subscribes to this faith. Part of this process was the locals adopting Spanish family names, which explains why most Filipinos today have such names. In the
Pacquiao. Man, I knew that sounded Spanish.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know, and I noticed in the SB19 song, there's a lot of Spanish in the language that means the same thing. So I was able to pick up on a couple words, and in that SB19 song, I was like, okay, this is a pretty unique language for sure.
Yeah. Because we've learned that Tagalog has a lot of influence of both Spanish and English. So that's good to know.
explains why most Filipinos today have such names. In the 1800s, local resentment over colonial rule mounted and finally erupted in the Philippine Revolution that began in 1896 with the foundation of the First Philippines Republic in 1899. Complicating matters though, Spain found itself at war with the United States over Cuba only 2 years later, and losing that war ceded the Philippines to the USA in 1898. The Americans did not recognize the Philippines Republic and over the next 3 years fought against the local revolutionary leaders in the Philippine-American War, which led to the deaths of over 200,000 Filipinos from famine and disease. The American administration ruled over the islands for the next 4 decades, dramatically changing the culture of the islands by reducing the influence of the Catholic Church and making English the official language, resulting in English replacing Spanish as the most commonly spoken non-native language up to this day. During World War II, the Americans were forced to abandon the islands following the Japanese invasion in early 1942. The islanders suffered terribly under Japanese occupation, with massacres and mass rapes a routine occurrence, while many of the women were forced into prostitution to the occupying forces. The islands were liberated in early 1945, after an estimated 1 million locals had been killed. Within a year, the Americans granted full independence to the country, providing for a democratic constitution similar to that of the United States. Today, however, Filipinos celebrate their Independence Day on June 12th to mark the anniversary of the revolutionary movement's declaration of independence from Spain in 1898. The first decade of independence saw the government dealing with the Hukbalahap, a communist insurgency that had originated in opposition to the Japanese occupation and was finally defeated in 1954. In 1965, Ferdinand Marcos was elected to the presidency, but rather than step down at the end of his term, imposed martial law in 1972. He ruled in total for just over 20 years, and the time of his illegal tenure was marked by repression, censorship, and human rights violations. Most notably, however, he and his wife Imelda were accused of embezzling billions of dollars from the public purse. Imelda's closet of thousands of pairs of shoes, while millions of Filipinos lived in abject poverty, has become a legendary symbol of the corruption of the elites.
Good God. Wow, that is... To see where it came from our occupation in 1899, was it? I think?
Yeah.
Then we occupied it, it became Americanized, and the Japanese came over, and, we let them go, and then all the way to the 80s and martial law.
That's pretty crazy, man. So they don't celebrate. Okay, so let me get this. I'm trying to remember correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong. They celebrate their initial independence from Spain, right? That's the date that they choose, not necessarily when they were recognized as a sovereign country. And the U.S. was like, here, you're your own thing, given some certain protocols, right? But then that's nothing. They just, before the U.S. had any sort of dealing in that pot, they celebrate that independence from Spain.
Right.
Okay.
June 12th, I believe it's the
Okay.
date, that the date is. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, no, I know that I'm learning. I've learned that World War II wrecked that part of the world.
Oh yeah.
It is fresh in my mind. So yes.
Yeah, because of World at War.
No, we did Battle 360, which is
Battle
Pacific,
360. That's
which
right.
is
That's
the
right.
Pacific Theater. The U.S. fought against the Imperial Japanese Navy, or Imperial Japan at the time.
Got it. If y'all want to check that out, link to that Rex Nation is in the description. Y'all go check that out. Marcos Fleas. Let's see.
The couple were forced into exile following the People Power Revolution of 1986. Corazon Aquino, the widow of Marcos's chief rival assassinated in 1983, then assumed the presidency. Presidents have continued to be elected in a democratic fashion since then and up to the present, although millions of Filipinos remain in poverty and feel that they are not represented by what they might regard as a revolving door of elite dynasties being in political control. Government corruption remains a serious issue and can partly explain why the Philippines, although seeing regular economic growth, did not become one of the tiger economies of Asia like Japan, Taiwan, Singapore, South Korea, or even Malaysia.
I mean, I see the tide turning on that. I mean, from what we've checked out of the Philippines so far, I mean, there's a reason so many American expats are starting to come over there.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming this is going to be a very sensitive subject for a lot of our Pinoy friends down in the comments. So there's probably people writing already.
Yep.
So we're just here to take it in. We're impartial here.
But you know what though, this is why we view multiple types of these videos, because I feel like we understand that whoever puts these compilations, these videos together, I understand that you can't get every nuance in there. No. And so the more we check out, the more informed we get, about a certain place. It'd be different with just like one and done. And guess what? Now we know everything there is to know. No, we understand that it's an ongoing thing that we have to absorb. So
yeah, exactly. So appreciate y'all coming through our process of absorbing it all.
Yes.
In the latest Cato Institute's Human Freedom Index, the Philippines is about mid-table overall, having a ranking of 83 out of 162 nations, with personal freedom being worse than economic, particular concern being over the accessibility to and the fairness of the legal system.
Oh my God.
For the majority of Filipinos, finding well-paying jobs that allow them to live comfortably is a challenge, and as a result, over 10% of Filipinos live abroad. Most container ships plying the ocean waves today have a crew made up of a majority of Filipino men. Filipinas have become internationally well known as nurses, maids, and nannies throughout much of Asia, the Middle East, and the developed world. Many Filipinas also look for a better life overseas through marriage, facilitated by a reputation for beauty among many Western men. The Philippines is a unitary state, meaning that there are no significant powers allocated to states or provinces within the country. The executive is led by the president, elected by the population for a 6-year term. The legislature is bicameral, having an upper house of 24 senators elected by National Party percentage of the vote to 6 terms, and a lower house of 304 representatives elected to 3-year terms that represent individual districts across the country. The country has a Supreme Court of 14 justices appointed by the president from lists nominated by a council. The country is administered through a succession of regions, provinces, cities, municipalities, and barangays. A barangay is a term unique to the Philippines and one you will often hear about or see on maps. It is the smallest unit of administration, with over 40,000 in the country, and, coming from a local word meaning village, is akin to a council or municipal ward.
Okay.
The flag of the Philippines is a bicolor of blue and red with a white triangle at the hoist enclosing a unique emblem. It evolved during the Philippine Revolution of the late 1890s, but was not official until the American administration permitted its use in 1920. The blue symbolizes peace, truth, and justice, the red patriotism and valor, and the white triangle liberty, equality, and fraternity. The 3 golden stars represent the 3 main regions of the country, Luzon, the Visayas, and Mindanao. The 8-rayed sun in the middle represents the 8 provinces that played a significant role in the revolution. The coat of arms is a shield containing the same elements of the flag as mentioned, plus the American eagle and the lion rampant of the Kingdom of Leon of Spain that signal the influences of these two countries in its colonial past.
Wow.
That's wild.
Yeah. Good to see the two countries, ours included, represented on there.
That's kind of crazy. I thought we were the only ones that had a freedom chicken. That's cool, man.
Freedom chicken.
That's awesome.
Do you use that all the time on Rec Nation?
All the time. Freedom chicken. That's it. That's freedom chicken.
Man, well, good to see they have a similar government to us, and I'm recalling a lot of the stuff from earlier about, how there's on the ships, there's Filipino men abroad, Filipina women are nurses throughout the world, nannies, all that. Remember that from the Bourdain episode that we checked out, which was a hell of a watch, and we'll probably link it at the end of the video as well.
That was a great video, guys. Check that out too. That exists on our channel, and it's awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah. We need more Bourdain, by the way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Feel free to suggest some more if you're into Bourdain, as I am.
Yep.
The motto below the shield in Filipino reads the Republic of the Philippines. When it comes to physical geography, the Philippine Islands are really quite unique in the world and define the country perhaps more than any other subject. It is the only national archipelago in the world where a high population is spread across so many islands, with perhaps only neighbouring Indonesia being somewhat similar. The total number of islands is just over 7,600, with 95% of the country's total land area of 300,000 kilometres spread across the 11 largest of these. By far the two biggest islands are Luzon in the north and Mindanao in the south. The distribution of medium-sized islands between these are collectively referred to as the Visayas. Together, Luzon, Mindanao and the Visayas are viewed as the 3 main divisions in the country. From north to south, the country spans just over 1,500 kilometres and 15 degrees of latitude, from 5 degrees to 20 degrees north of the equator. The main body of the islands, excluding the outliers of Palawan and the Sulu chain, spans about 420 kilometres. A car journey from extreme north to south, with 2 ferry crossings, is about 2,200 kilometres, taking almost 2 days non-stop. The country's highest point is Mount Apo, close to Davao City in the south of Mindanao, at 2,954 metres, which is a dormant stratovolcano. Being on the border of the Eurasian Sunda and Philippine Sea tectonic plates, the archipelago itself has formed from their complex interaction in what is referred to as the Philippine Mobile Belt. This situation leads to a number of earthquakes each year, with some historically being large enough to result in significant loss of life. Perhaps more notable, however, are the volcanoes of the Philippines. 25 are currently active, with the perfectly shaped Mount Mayon in just the last year producing spectacular eruptions. Mount Pinatubo in Luzon produced the second largest eruption of the 20th century when it reawakened in 1991, leading to global temperatures falling by 0.5 Celsius for the next 2 years.
Okay, so yeah, you were, in the beginning, you were right to assume a volcano.
I was like, holy crap, I wouldn't put that in. Welcome to the Philippines. Here's the apocalypse. That's nuts. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
That's crazy. Like, if I looked out my window and saw that, that's a brown pants moment.
Yeah. That's
like, that is not. No, I couldn't. It's unimaginable. It's unimaginable being surrounded by that. How many volcanoes did he say they have? Like,
yes.
Yes. Like, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough for me. Wow.
And how global temperatures dropped 0.5 degree Celsius?
Wait, 91?
In 91, yeah.
Man. Okay.
Damn.
Jesus.
falling by 0.5 Celsius for the next 2 years.
For the next 2 years.
The Philippines is squarely in the path of typhoons that develop across the western Pacific, with an average of 20 hitting the islands every year, with the eastern Visayas the most vulnerable. The worst of these in recent times, the Category 5 typhoon of Haiyan in 2013, killed 6,300 people and left almost 2 million homeless.
Oh my.
Combined with the dangers of volcanoes previously mentioned, the country is regarded as one of the most disaster-prone countries in the world, made worse by often inadequate infrastructure and disaster response.
Oh my god. So, I'm guessing that when I do plan this trip to the Philippines, I need to know when the season is for these typhoons.
Yeah.
Because here in the States, especially in the Southeast, planning a trip to, say, Florida or any beach, you got to plan around hurricane season. Basically, what would you say? It's like
September through
I'd say August as well.
August for sure.
August to basically October.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't plan trips to the Caribbean or Florida at all. Like, you just don't do that.
Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna have to have a Hawkeye on Skyscanner, like a month or so, like during the month.
Yeah.
And plan like a month in advance or a week, probably like 2 weeks in advance if I can. That's probably the latest I can do that.
Probably. Wow, man.
Yeah. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments and maybe some advice on that. Pretty please. I don't want to die.
This is what matters right here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, especially if you're traveling abroad, like you're already on edge because, you know, I wouldn't say a massive language barrier because I feel like everyone speaks English, but you don't want to be in a foreign country when shit's getting real, like when people are hunkering down for a typhoon to hit.
Yeah, 100%.
In terms of its situation in the region, the Philippines is bounded on the east by the Philippine Sea, which is really part of the Pacific Ocean, in the south by the Celebes Sea, which separates it from Indonesia, and in the southwest by the Sulu Sea, separating it from the island of Borneo and Malaysia. To the west is the South China Sea, that contains the Spratly Islands, in the news recently as a result of China asserting their claim over them. To the north, the Batanes Islands and the Luzon Strait separate the country from Taiwan. The vast majority of the Philippines experience tropical climates of year-round high temperatures. The exceptions to this are the small subtropical highland areas in the highest points of Luzon and Mindanao Islands where relatively mild year-round temperatures are enjoyed. Due to the direction of the prevailing trade winds coming either from the northeast or southeast, depending upon the season, the eastern half of the country experiences year-round rain and a tropical rainforest climate.
Oh my god!
More westerly areas experience a tropical monsoon climate where part of the year is drier, while Palawan in the west and sheltered parts of Luzon have a tropical savanna climate where the dry season is very pronounced.
Oh
bro,
my god.
79 inches of rain a year?
That's a lot.
Good God.
That's what I'm saying.
Holy crap. Well, right there's your travel plans. Right there, there's your travel plans. January through April.
Oh, okay. January through April. Yeah.
If you want to go check out Manila.
Yeah. Maybe December if I'm feeling
that's when you roll the dice. But
yeah. So let me just run these back. So that's the middle part, Cebu City. So that's February through April as well. And then the south, like roll the dice in February and March and possibly December as well.
Yeah. But Manila, that's your best bet as far as possibly missing out on rain.
Yeah.
Statistically.
Yeah, exactly. But then there's like a huge discrepancy.
Look at that, man.
Right there. Holy holidays, bro.
Crap. August is like I rule this chart.
Yeah. You if you drive there, hopefully it converts into a boat That
Yeah.
way you can get around.
Get your August boat conversion kit for your car. Well, there you go. There's a product right there. There's a
Yeah.
product you guys need to invest in, because that's a lot of rain.
Yeah.
Luzon have a tropical savanna climate where the dry season is very pronounced. In terms of natural biomes, the islands were once covered in either tropical rainforest, where the trees maintain their leaves throughout the year, or tropical seasonal forest, where the trees lose their leaves in the dry season. This division broadly follows the presence or absence of dry seasons in the climate areas just mentioned. However, with such a large population occupying a relatively small land area, most of the land is cultivated in some form. As a local once told me, wherever you find land here, you find people. Rice is the principal crop, which can be harvested several times a year in the tropical climate, and is perhaps the main reason why the country supports such a large population. At the last census in 2015, the population of the Philippines was just over 100 million people. But with a high birth rate, this figure may now be over 110 million, making it the 13th largest national population in the world.
Daggone.
Up to a third of the population can be found in the densely populated conurbation around the national capital of Manila. Davao City in Mindanao and Cebu City in the Visayas make up the other two large cities in the country. The rest of the population is scattered relatively evenly over the islands, with only isolated highland areas and the rugged landscapes of Palawan seeing relatively few people. A product of its geography of islands and mountain ranges that act as barriers to population mingling, it is perhaps no surprise to find that ethnically, the Philippines is one of the most diverse in the world. The original regional groups of people prior to the Spanish conquest have remarkably retained their native languages and dialects to the present day and use them in everyday communication. The largest of these is Tagalog, spoken around Manila and the surrounding regions of Luzon.
Tagalog?
Yeah.
Tagalog.
Tagalog. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Sorry. That was going to tick me off.
Tagalog. What? When you touch a log, Tagalog. Yeah. That's it.
I always want to say, like, tag-along in reference to the Girl Scout cookie. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm. There's a Girl Scout cookie called Tagalong?
Yeah. I want to say it's one of those coconut ones.
Huh.
What flavor is Tagalong Girl Scout cookies? Oh, sorry. Those are the peanut butter and chocolate ones, not the coconut ones. Sorry, my bad.
Luzon and Cebuano in the Visayas and Mindanao. These two make up almost half of all Filipinos, with the other 180 languages and dialects making up the other half. The Filipino language is a standardized form of Tagalog which, alongside English, is an official language of the country. Spanish, once widely spoken, is now used by only a few, despite the oddity of most Filipinos having Spanish family names, as earlier mentioned. This Spanish influence includes the term itself, Filipino, which is spelt in the Spanish style. In more recent decades, the Tagalog word Pinoy has been self-adopted by many Filipinos to describe themselves, perhaps to assert the local word over a word that ultimately derived from a Renaissance-era Spanish king. The overwhelming majority of the population is of the Austronesian group of peoples, which colonized the islands about 3,500 to 4,000 years ago, and then went on to colonize Indonesia, Madagascar, and most of the Pacific Islands. In this regard, Filipinos are related to Malaysians, Indonesians, and even Madagascans and the Maoris of New Zealand, although the languages between them are unintelligible, and beyond the basic similarities, the people are clearly different in appearance. Several tens of thousands of people living in the Philippines today are the remains of even earlier populations prior to the Austronesian colonization and have survived in more remote areas such as Palawan and the uplands of Luzon, maintaining their language and traditions, including religious beliefs. On that subject, the majority of Filipinos are Roman Catholic, a result of centuries of missionaries' work during the Spanish colonial period.
Wow. I'm just looking on their It's you can't even make out the whole no religion one. It's
Yeah,
a
no.
religious place. Yeah.
Yep.
Christianity rules over there.
Yep.
A small number of Protestant Christians exist, as well as pockets of Muslims in the south. The economy of the Philippines is the 25th to 29th largest in the world, depending upon compilation. Its chief exports are semiconductors and electronic products, along with a number of foods and minerals.
Bananas.
The dominance of these high-tech exports demonstrates the recent change that has occurred in the economy, which has seen a dramatic shift toward industrialization in the last 20 years. This, along with consistent economic growth, have led some economists to label the country as an Asian tiger cub economy, since the Philippines was not a part of the original club of Asian tigers of Japan, Singapore, Taiwan and South Korea that grew explosively in the 60s, 70s and 80s. Poor infrastructure, hampered by the difficult natural geography of the archipelago, however, along with high levels of corruption, are still preventing the country from realizing the potential that the original Asian tigers now enjoy. About a third of the population is employed in the agricultural sector, with most of the food being for internal consumption and rice being the dominant crop.
Yeah, that's another thing that we've learned. Rice. It's a huge part of the cuisine over there. And I think, like, I could be completely wrong about this, and I'm sorry if I am, but I feel like in Tagalog, the word for have you eaten today or have you eaten rice is the same.
Yeah.
I could be getting that completely wrong. Let me know if I am. I probably am.
I feel like I remember that somewhere from some video we've checked out.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, let us know. For
Yeah.
sure.
As well as crewing most of the world's merchant fleet, the Philippines is now a major shipbuilding nation, being the fourth largest in the world in this respect. Mining is also a large industry, with the country being the second largest producer of nickel and fourth of cobalt. Over a quarter of the country's electricity is produced by geothermal power, taking advantage of its seismically active situation, and is second only to the United States in terms of megawatts produced in this way.
Nice.
In terms of the service sector, the Philippines has now surpassed India as the call center capital of the world, a product of low labor costs and a population that speaks English. Lastly, tourism is now considered to be the country's biggest untapped resource, and prior to the current travel situation, tourism to the country was growing dramatically. With such abundant natural beauty and the friendliness and gentle nature of the people, it's actually a wonder that the country had not been a magnet for international tourism many years earlier. The nation's currency is the Philippine peso, which at the time of this video had an exchange rate of 50 to the US dollar.
Okay. We did this in the Brazil one. I'm going to do it now in the Philippine one. I think I have that on my card that I use for international deals. So I'm going to put 100 in here. Let's see, US to Philippine peso. It's 100. I'll put one. Put one.
Yeah. I was like, damn.
1 equals 56.56 Philippine peso.
Okay.
So, yeah, you could pretty much live good there if you earn an income in US dollars.
Now, here's the question. What can you buy for 50 pesos? That's what I want to know. Like, in the comment section, let me know what can you buy for $1?
A US dollar, which is right now is 56 pesos and change.
Yeah.
What can you buy for 56 peso in the Philippines?
Yep.
Filipino culture is unique, being a fusion of the already distinctive culture of the islands with Spanish and American influences, being strong from their respective periods of colonization. Because of the fragmented geographical nature of the archipelago, as well as individual regional languages still being used, the cultures of each island can be very different, manifested in traditional costume and festivals, cuisine, and manners. One well-known example of this fusion is the unique phenomenon of the jeepney. These pimped-out, chrome and coloured vehicles are conversions of jeeps left behind by US forces in World War II, and the originals and their descendants are a ubiquitous sight in towns and cities across the islands, being shared taxis where local commuters can hop on or off at any time, and often in violation of local traffic ordinances. in part due to the many connections between the United States and the Philippines, as well as their propensity for good looks. Many well-known celebrities of today are from here or have Filipino mothers or fathers. These include singer-songwriter and X Factor judge Nicole Scherzinger, Dreamgirl actress Sharon Leal, singer-songwriter Bruno Mars, Christine Gambito aka Happy Slip of YouTube fame, theatrical and Disney princess singer Lea Salonga, High School Musical singer Vanessa Hudgens, Black Eyed Pea Alan Pineda aka Apple Diap, stand-up comedian Joe Coy, multi-platinum award-winning singer Enrique Iglesias, businesswoman and co-founder of Flickr Katerina Fake, world-renowned fashion designer Monique Lhuillier, La Bamba and Young Guns actor Lou Diamond Phillips, Journey lead singer and songwriter Arnel Pineda, electronics and computing pioneer Dado Banatao, actress and Miss Universe Pia Wurtzbach, and last but not least, multi-weight title winning boxer Manny Pacquiao, who currently serves as a senator of the Philippines.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, he's in office.
Wow.
He was at the time.
Yeah, I totally missed that. But I'm sure everyone's gonna fill in that list of people that are Pinoy.
Could you imagine running against Manny Pacquiao?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not
gonna do that.
I'm not gonna do that.
Mm-mm. Oh, Rays, the pool guy.
Yes.
Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh, we could stay here for hours listing out everyone. Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
But
we'll let y'all do it in the comments.
Yep.
So, how to summarize the Philippines and its people? In my opinion, both the islands and its people are truly unique. Many countries and nationalities are similar to others, but the peculiar blend of island nation people mixed with Spanish and American colonial influences and the geographical nature of the compact archipelago itself really have no likeness to anything else that I can think of. And because of the Philippine diaspora, their culture has influenced the developed world in many subtle ways that we may not be aware of. I very much enjoyed my time spent there a few years ago.
Nice.
The islands are simply stunning in their beauty, and I don't think I can think of a more welcoming and friendly people anywhere in the world. And that's the Philippines. I hope you enjoyed this whirlwind tour of these unique islands and their people. Please like and share this video if you enjoyed it or found it useful, and please let me know your thoughts in the comments, especially if you are from these islands and if I missed out anything that you feel is important. If you have...
Yes, please do that.
Yeah.
Do all of that.
It's very unique, bro, to have Spanish and U.S. influence in the Pacific.
Yeah,
that's odd. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it makes it a very unique country in that part of the world, and it makes it very open for Westerners like you and me to embrace their culture and go there and enjoy our time.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a gem for sure. So, the best part is that I love reading the comments on these videos. Because there's bound to be things he missed. And I love seeing you guys fill those in.
Absolutely.
But yeah, definitely get back to us on when Spence should travel. I mean, eventually in a perfect world, guys, if our if Spence's travel channel does well, this channel, what? If we can, I would love to go with Spence. Right now, Spence is the go-getter, the boots on the ground ambassador.
Yeah. And in a perfect world, I'd love to have you come with me.
Yeah.
Just, circumstances right now.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, this is great. Like, I can't wait to read the comments. Let us know when Spence should go, where he should go, and think of weather if you could. When.
Yeah, and if you're feeling really frisky, y'all, I'm going to put my Instagrams in the pinned comment here and in the description below if you want to send me a direct message.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't be a stranger now.
Yep.
Anyway, love y'all. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing and watching another video. Thank y'all to our channel members for your support. And what now, Dan the man?
Unplug and do something legendary, guys.